$1,000. But every child will benefit from the lessons they've learned as a result of participating in high school sports for the rest of their lives. It's difficult being the parent of a high school athlete. There's far more emotion and social pressure involved than is ideal. But if you follow these 6 pointers, not only will your children love and respect you, but so will their teammates and coaches. And you might even be named MVP. Thank you for your support of high school athletics in Indiana. Stay tuned now. The Indiana SRN game is next. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Wednesday night basketball here on Indiana SRN, IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN. We have a good one tonight, 4A action between the third-ranked Brownsburg Bulldogs taking on the Crispus Attucks Tigers, the 10th-ranked team in Class 4A. With my broadcast partner, Joey Lindstrom, I'm Kurt Darling. Joey, definitely a good matchup here tonight, one that we've actually been pretty highly anticipating so far this week. After all, you have 2 top 10 teams in the Class 4A ranks facing off here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. I can't wait for this game. You have such star-studded rosters on both sides, and it's just going to be great to see the competition that you're going to have guys making hugely athletic plays. You're going to have guys trying to make the next pass to the best man possible, and I think both coaches prepared these teams well for this game.
You mentioned both coaches here, the Crispus Attucks Tigers under the tutelage of Chris Hawkins in his 4th year at the helm of the Tigers. He is 87-24 overall. He led this team to a state championship in his first season as the head coach of the Tigers back in 2016. Something very impressive there. Equally impressive is Steve Lynch, the head coach of the Brownsburg Bulldogs, 124-52 in his 8th season at Brownsburg, but he has over 220 wins as a head coach coaching boys basketball in the state of Indiana. He came from Mount Vernon back in 2013 before coming to Brownsburg, and he has remained there since. And obviously 2 very, very talented coaches, one not as experienced, one having a vast amount of experience. Nonetheless, they each bring their individual strengths in these 2 teams.
They do, and they do it in different ways. You have one on one side with Brownsburg and Coach Lynch being a storied professional and a guy that has had success for many, many years with a lot of different types of athletes. And on the opposite side with Crispus Attucks, Coach Hawkins, in his first year winning a state championship, that's not a bad start. But how do you build off that? You got to keep winning and keep getting kids better and creating opportunities for yourself, because that ultimately makes the most difference.
And, of course, the Crispus Attucks is 16-4 in the postseason in their last 4 years under head coach Chris Hawkins, and he brings a star-studded cast in the Tigers. As you mentioned there, Joey, IHSAA Stafford going to be one to watch tonight.
He is. This kid gets buckets all the time, and he scores a lot of points, high-intensity player, loves putting pressure on other players, loves getting the basket with a slasher mentality and getting it to his other guys and who are equally, if not equally as talented and more dynamic too, depending on their skill set, their size, what have you.
And, of course, you have IHSAA Stafford getting lots of interest from low D1, high D2 schools such as Chicago State and Truman State. He transferred in from Bolingbrook, Illinois last year, and this is his only year with Attucks this year, and so he's definitely someone that Coach Hawkins has definitely been really, really glad to have on his team. But the star on the other side of the coin here, you have Pierce Thomas, the future Butler Bulldog for the Bulldogs of Brownsburg.
I love it. Bulldog to Bulldog. Pierce Thomas headed to my alma mater, and I couldn't be more happy because
playing for my alma mater.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So Pierce Thomas has such a unique set of skills. I mean, he can kill you with the floater. He can cross you up. He's got the 3-ball in his arsenal. So many different weapons that Pierce Thomas brings to the table, and it's really hard to just defend him in general. Sometimes you have to get 2 guys on him. Sometimes you have to play zone. So you force him to shoot more. He's a dynamic player. I couldn't be more excited now as a Bulldog alum, and I guess you too as a Bulldog alum. But he's just such a dynamic player. I'm very excited to see how he performs and leads this team.
But both of these teams actually showed a lot of success last year. In fact, they were poised to make deep runs in the tournament last year. But, of course, we're still dealing with it now. The coronavirus had something to say about that, and that basically shut down the whole state tournament last year, and now we're starting all over now.
Yeah, we were going through this in the beginning before the game, and we were like, wait, what happened with why did they both win sectional championships and then it just stopped in their schedule? Oh, wait, because we have the pandemic. Unfortunately, how quickly we forget.
Indeed you do. We'll go ahead and take a quick timeout here, or we'll keep it here on Indiana SRN as we get set to take on this big matchup between Brownsburg and Crispus Attucks. Chris Hawkins, Steve Lynch, Pierce Thomas, Isaiah Stafford, and a lot of other supporting cast members as well as these two teams looking for a big win here tonight. Crispus Attucks 3-0 coming into this contest off of their big win off of Warren Central just a few days ago, and Brownsburg coming off of a win over Gary 21st Century in their holiday tournament that they hosted at their school just a few days ago as well. This will be definitely a big game as well. In fact, Crispus Attucks, one of the top offensive teams in the state, averaging 87 points a contest. That is 5th among scoring out of any school in the classes 1 through 4A throughout the season so far, and out of any team in the state. And now we'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll continue breaking down tonight's contest. Don't go anywhere. You're watching high school basketball. Power on IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 160,000 participants here in Indiana who take part in high school sports.
Never miss a big game by downloading the IHSAA TV app for free on any device. For your iPhone or Apple TV, check the App Store. On your Android or Android TV device, load up the Google Play Store. Have a Roku or Amazon Fire Stick? We have the app for you. Check us out on Facebook Live, Twitter, or YouTube Live by searching for IHSAA TV. Or as always, click to IHSAATV.org for quick and easy access to your favorite IHSAA live and archived events.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Meeting the starters here tonight at Crispus Attucks High School for this highly touted Class 4A contest. Number 3, Brownsburg on the road tonight, taking on the Crispus Attucks Tigers. The Tigers 3-0. The Brownsburg Bulldogs 1-1 on the season. A loss to Franklin Central to start off the season, and then a win against Gary at 21st Century. They have had one game postponed. That was their season opener against North Central of Indianapolis. And Crispus Attucks with wins against Purdue Poly, Yorkville Christian, and Warren Central coming into this contest. With Joey Lindstrom, I'm Kurt Darling. And Joey, obviously you're hard at work right now making a lot of notes here. Of course, a lot of things and a lot of things to consider coming into tonight's contest.
A ton. Where do you even begin? There's first of all, Crispus Attucks is so senior heavy. These guys have the opportunity to really, really show out this year, and I think they know that, and they're off to that strong start. You mentioned their their average is 87 points a game. Their lowest point total was 66 last week against Warren Central. They're going to continue to build off the opportunities that they've created for themselves. They're so good in transition, and they show no fear. These guys, these guys don't care whoever's in their face. They're going to try to run through them and try to get a basket. And on Brownsburg's side, it's either you keep pace with them or and try to slow them down, or you just you're going to get beat.
Indeed you do here, as now you have Jalen Carson facing Pierce Thomas at center court as we're underway inside of Crispus Attucks High School. It's tipped out of bounds, and it will be Attucks basketball to start this first half. And so you mentioned you have a lot of athleticism here with Attucks, but you have a lot of strategic play and finesse when it comes to this Brownsburg squad.
Yeah, you do. They're going to try to, at least on the defensive side, they're going to run in this zone. They're going to try to pressure so that they push Attucks toward the midcourt because they're so good at driving to the hoop.
Working it now here is Barnett. And now inside to Carson, and he's double-teamed. Bounce pass along the baseline, a three on the way, and that's no good from Isaiah Stafford.
Good opening possession to force a deep shot, which it doesn't seem like, when you watch film, it doesn't seem that Isaiah Stafford loves to shoot the ball. He'd prefer to go to the basket.
And
nice
right there going to the basket is Kalen Carroll to get things going for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Kalen Carroll, a nice move inside. He just slashed right through there across the key and made a nice basket.
And the Bulldogs shutting down good passing lanes here up top, as you have Stafford on the wing trying to find Barnett inside, and that goes out of bounds. And Donovan Barnett averaging 12 points a contest, one of those guys they try to get it down inside to every game in and game out. Pierce Thomas, the Butler commit, going to be getting a heavy dose of defense from the Attucks Tigers tonight. And here's Carroll. And off the give and go inside to Carroll. And it's stolen on the pass outside by Smith.
Tough turnover there. You can't try to force it back outside when you have it in.
And Smith goes right to the basket, gets his own rebound, and gets it into the hands of Carson, and he lays it in.
Way to tip it to yourself, Carson, on that play.
And now we have a whistle for an injured player, so head coach Steve Lynch will have to make a substitution for the first time tonight.
That appears a little uncomfortable. I'm sure he'll be back out there soon.
Just a little bit. So that's Kalen Carroll exiting the contest now. A lot of moving parts here for Brownsburg that we have yet to see here tonight. Thomas gets it off to Bragg. And now looking up top to Diallo. Oh, man, they're going to try and get open here as there's a double dribble call on Pierce Thomas and another early turnover here by the Bulldogs. So that looks like about 2 turnovers early here for Brownsburg.
Come pick this up. Thank you. Appreciate you.
So now you have Isaiah Stafford going to be taking it out here, and now we talk about Crispus Attucks High School, a lot of history with this school. You have players like Oscar Robertson having come through here. He won a state title with the Tigers back in 1955.
The
you
big
just
O.
feel it.
The big O.
Of course, went on to play at the University of Cincinnati. As a three is on the way there from James Smith. An offensive rebound by Crispus Attucks, and a quick hustle and steal by Bragg. He tips it to Pierce Thomas, and he lays it in for 2. No, actually, that is Talabe Diallo getting his first points and the foul.
Nice transition bucket off the steal. Hooks made a great rebound, and he was trying to pass it back to his outlet guy, ultimately getting away from that ball, and Brownsburg took full advantage of it. Nice play by Diallo, too, to make the finish.
So that's the first foul of the night by either team as Diallo hits the free throw. One of the more reliable free throw shooters on the season last season for the Bulldogs. He shot 83% from the foul stripe last year.
That's nice.
Stafford.
Another one.
Gets his pocket picked. Again, it's Diallo in transition. He puts it off the glass, no good, but Pierce Thomas right there for the offensive rebound. 3 on the way in the corner. In and out by Quentin Bragg. And a long pass in transition, and there's an easy two by James Smith, and a timeout on the court.
That was a nice opportunity for Brownsburg there to move, to try to slash inside and then get out to the guy at the three-point line to try to get him an opportunity.
Would you like to hear from, we would like to hear from you during the game today. Tweet at us at Indiana SRN and be ready for a shout-out. Thank you for watching. We'll take a quick timeout. Back in a minute. IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 160,000 participants here in Indiana who take part in high school sports.
Right back to the action here between Attucks and Brownsburg. Pierce Thomas bringing it up court here with Joey Lindstrom. I'm Kurt Darling. And now we checking into the contest. Tyree Lackey is into the ball game during the timeout for Brownsburg. One of the more efficient shooters off the bench for this team last year, as you have Thomas facing up against Attucks. And he loads up a really long three, and that rattles in and out.
Good shot by Thomas. Obviously wanted to fall, but Crispus Attucks trying to make quick work.
And Attucks getting a little more nifty with the passing as they try to get it down low to Carson, and he travels. Jalen Carson averaging 6 points a contest so far this season, but he's the leading rebounder, 10 rebounds a contest. One of two 6'7" players down low for Attucks, as Brownsburg looking down low to Pierce Thomas, and that goes out of bounds.
Yeah, it was a nice look. He was trying to flash down to the basket on the side of the key, and it was a nice look. Just looks like it went off his foot.
Many seniors on this Tigers squad, as we talked about in the pregame. And there's one of those seniors, Donovan Barnett, going inside, and he's fouled. That's going to be a foul on Talabe Diallo, and that's going to be his first, and the first on Brownsburg. So you have Donovan Barnett at the foul stripe. The only four-year varsity player on this team right now for Crispus Attucks, as he balks the first one.
You love to have that senior leadership. That's huge for your squad. A guy that plays all 4 years on varsity and knows this.
Of course, one thing you know, though, you want your player to make your free throws, as he misses both of those free throws, and Quentin Bragg on the other side lays it in for two.
Nice move by Quentin Bragg down low. I mean, undersized guy for playing that forward position down there. Great job.
Inside, and Brownsburg playing some stifling defense there in the paint as they force James Smith to travel.
Boy, this is impressive by Brownsburg so far. This zone has been nearly impenetrable. I mean, Crispus Attucks can't really get anybody in the key, forcing everything outside.
Luke Lacey to Pierce Thomas. Fadeaway jumper, and that's off the mark. Thomas has yet to get on the board tonight.
Yeah, but he likes those shots. He likes to be able to get separation from himself, whether it be by a fadeaway or what have you.
Three ball on the way, in and out again for James Smith. Now Pierce Thomas again with the finger roll, trying to get right to the basket. That's in and out, and another big transition offense here as Attucks gets the shot to fall, Donovan Barnett. So Barnett making up for those missed free throws right there, laying it in. And Pierce Thomas playing some stingy offense there against Donovan Barnett as he loads up another long three, and again, he can't get it to go.
You're going to have to find a rhythm and shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot, am I right?
Exactly.
That's what I say in pickup basketball, at least. Doesn't always work.
A traveling violation there by Jalen Hooks. And Hooks, another one of those players that's very, very talented on this Tigers squad. He's already getting some interest from many D1 programs.
As he should. I mean, he's got the size to play the low block. He's got strength down in the post. This guy knows how to get rebounds too, and he's really fearless when he goes for the ball. Goes up for the ball.
Bounce pass outside to Pierce Thomas. He is wide open for a three, and again he can't get it to fall. Lacey, though, gets the offensive rebound as Kalen Carroll, a big block there by Jalen Hooks.
That's what he does. He's a rim protector at this level, and he is just so good at knowing exactly where he is and where he needs to put his hand to block the shot.
And he's only a sophomore too. That's one thing you really like to see there if you're head coach Chris Hawkins.
Yeah, I mean, so much upside. You can build a lot of different skills. You can. He's 6'7", so obviously when he goes to the college level, that's going to be about kind of where everybody else is. So he might have to build those skills now, just being a young pup.
Kalen Carroll having to deal with that mismatch there on Hooks for a little while. And waiting impatiently there is Luke Lacey.
Good patience.
Bulldogs spreading the ball around nicely so far. 4 players have scored. Talabe Diallo leading all scorers with 3 points. As there's a steal there by Pierce Thomas with about a minute and a half left to go in the quarter. And Kalen Carroll misses the bunny, and a big block again by Hooks. That's number 2 on the night for him as the ball goes out of bounds. As we take a look here, just take a look at this patience here by Lacey.
This is fundamental. I mean, he didn't even really shot fake. He just kind of body faked. He made it look like he was going to go up. At least that slight movement can trigger your defenseman to jump.
So now Brownsburg going with a little size here as you have Sean Tulapawa checking into the ball game. A 6'6" junior for Brownsburg.
I'm surprised they didn't start with him, given Hook's size and how Tulapawa had to be defending him down in that low post in this zone.
Faking the shot in the corner. That's Barnett, and he's fouled. Little hand check there by Talibe Diallo.
I like the effort of this defense because usually in a zone you're like, oh, I can just be kind of lackadaisical. No, I mean, Coach Lynch is forcing his guys to go poke at the ball. Get pressure on this Attucks team because so far everybody they played hasn't been able to figure out how to stop them on offense.
Holding it up top is Hooks. Now over to Smith. And there's a tip over the backcourt line there by Lacey. And looking inside, they're going to call no shot on the floor. And it's going to be a foul underneath the basket. They're going to call now a foul on Luke Lacey, his first, and the third on Brownsburg. So we see Tyree Lackey check back into the ball game. 3 on the way here from Smith. And again off the mark. Neither team can get things going from outside the arc. A big steal in transition, and Hooks gets the shot to go and draws the foul. They're going to count the basket and one.
Nice play by Hooks to get up there strong. I think he was kind of thinking dunk, and then he heard the footsteps of Pierce Thomas coming by to try to smack that one away.
Better to go with the safer option in that regard there. Jalen Hooks averaging 10 points a contest. 6 rebounds per contest. Believe it or not, he's one of the tallest players on this team, and he is not the leading rebounder as he misses the gimme free throw. Pierce Thomas gets his pocket pick, but right there, though, to clean things up there is Tapaula, and he lays it in.
Nice job by Tapaula to get that rebound, a strong rebound, and just lay it up, realizing that he needs to just get it over, and he scoops it in.
Inside goes Smith, and he gets it to fall. And that's the end of the first quarter, as we will take our second time out of the contest. Back in a minute. You're watching IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN. slow-going ball game here from the outset as it's at 11-10, 1-point lead for Brownsburg over Crispus Attucks right now after 1 quarter of play with Joey Lindstrom. I'm Kurt Darling, and Joey, both of these teams just having a little bit of a struggle getting things going on the offensive end here.
I think somebody maybe forgot a screwdriver to tighten the rims a little bit. It just seems like every shot is bouncing out right now. Really, for both teams, anytime they shoot a jump shot. But you know what's amazing, Kurt? Anytime anybody's used the backboard, it seems to go in.
Typically it does. Starting the second quarter of play here, you got Pierce Thomas.
That was a tribute to our benevolent overlord, Keith Myers, who coaches to always use the backboard.
Of course. It's there for a reason. So you got a blocking foul here on Crispus Attucks. That's going to be their second team foul of the first half. As you'll have Luke Lacey take things back out here. It was even though it was a rough game scoring-wise, pretty clean game in the first half in the first quarter there.
It was a lot of hustle plays. What I'm most impressed with is Brownsburg's zone defense. They're keeping the pressure on Crispus Attucks, and the Tigers really don't know. They don't have a clue what to do because they're so used to slashing towards the basket and getting across that key to go get baskets. It's hard to penetrate this zone right now.
Jalen Smith now with it. All the way around the horn. Looking inside to Hooks. 3 on the way here for Attucks. That is Willie Mays. And that rattles in and out. Thomas again. Step back 3 on the way, and he can't get that to fall. But corralling the offensive rebound is Carroll.
Luke Lacey's been very impressive on the offensive rebounds. He's severely undersized comparatively, but, I mean, he's been awesome.
As you see Carroll also being awesome there as he gets the scoring going in the second quarter for Brownsburg. He now has 4 points. Hooks from the foul stripe can't get that to fall.
I don't know if that's Hook's shot. I mean, he's so used to being down in the low post, and again, he's young, so that might develop in years. But right now, I mean, I don't think that's exactly what Coach Hawkins wants out of him.
Still playing the size game here is Brownsburg as Carroll gets his pocket pick there by Donovan Barnett. He goes uncontested and gets it to go there on the easy dunk.
Flush it home.
Just a little flush right there, a little kiss off the rim. Pierce Thomas up top, over to Carroll as he directs some traffic there. Of course, these two teams only lukewarmly familiar with each other as they've only played each other twice all time. Each team winning a game in those 2 meetings in their history. Hooks
nice
underneath inside. Can't get the shot to fall there from Donovan Scott. And a 30-second timeout called by Coach Steve Lynch of Brownsburg. Didn't like exactly what he saw right there. Never, as we take a look at the replay on this dunk here, Joey, just uncontested here, just getting his finger on the pass.
Yeah, and I wonder the effort by Pierce Thomas. I know he's obviously, he almost blocked the shot earlier, but I wonder if he maybe is just gassed and Coach Lynch just kept him in for a whole quarter, what have you. But obviously, you want to see your main guy go after that.
Be sure to never miss a game and watch it as many times as you like. Go to our YouTube page and subscribe now. Get notifications about upcoming events. Go to YouTube and then at Indiana SRN. As we come out of the timeout here, still a tight ball game. And so now if you're head coach Steve Lynch, obviously you're having a hard time getting the offense going. Just like, what do you tell your team right there during that timeout?
You got to just stick with the plan. You got to make sure that once you get across the midcourt stripe, you got to have the mentality that it's over. Every time we come down here, we're going to score. And I think he's going to try to spread his guys out, get Pierce Thomas in position to score just like this.
except it does not go in. In fact, it doesn't touch anything as it falls out of bounds and out of play.
He's just got to find his rhythm. I think he just looks a little bit out of sorts. I mean, he'll find it, and later on we'll see him start to get hot, I think.
And of course, we come into this contest being very appreciative of the fact that we're able to even be playing basketball right now. As you see Donovan Barnett go inside off that finger roll, and there's a traveling violation on Tyree Lackey. But, you know, and of course you and I have experienced this so far here, Joey. You know, a lot of games have been postponed and canceled, and Crispus Attucks is lucky for the fact that they haven't had yet to deal with a postponement so far this season.
Yeah, they've been apparently handling it really, really well and controlling what they can control, making sure their guys are healthy. That shows dedication to the season.
As Jalen Carson again can't get the shot to fall here. There's just lids on both of these rims here in this first half. Yeah. And Pierce Thomas again firing up a shot, and again he cannot get anything to fall. Pierce Thomas has not scored a single point tonight for Brownsburg. Inside is Stafford. No dice there. Carroll gets by the defender right coast to coast, but a block by Jalen Carson. And back in transition comes Barnett. He goes right to the basket, can't get that to fall, and a hard rebound is not corralled there by Tapala. And that's going to be Brownsburg basketball.
Nice job corralling that by Tapala. I mean, he obviously let it go at the end, but a strong rebound, at least to get it out of the hands there of Carson. So Carson actually gaining that foul now gives Brownsburg the basketball again.
So that's going to be Carson's first foul of the night and the third on Attucks so far this half. And there's a steal underneath. And in transition, here goes Smith, and he gets fouled.
Very physical game. I like that out of it. And you want to make sure you're not getting too reckless, though, on both sides, because you don't want to be having teammates lose their temper and what have you. And if you're Coach Hawkins or Coach Lynch, having guys not focusing on the task at hand, not the mission at hand, is always frustrating because you lose sight of what's important.
A slow-going game here so far. Trying to get some scoring going here is James Smith as he gets the first foul shot to go. And Attucks tonight is 1 of 4 at the foul stripe. In fact, that's the first foul shot they've hit tonight. And he makes the second one fall as well. Believe it or not, this is the first lead of the night for Attucks at 14-13 as we get closer to halftime. So way off of their normal pace. Remember, this is an Attucks team that averages 87 points a contest as we finally have a 3-ball fall, and that's El Hadj Diallo.
Nice shot by Diallo on that one. He had so much separation. I mean, he was just able to just relax.
And El Hadj Diallo, a 6'2" sophomore. And there's a block underneath there by Tyree Lackey. Quick in transition is Lacey, right to the basket. No foul call there. Contested ball underneath. Diallo puts it back in. How about this sophomore off the bench?
All of a sudden, and he must be taking after his bro, because he's being extra aggressive down there and opportunistic.
Of course, his older brother, Talibe Diallo, on this Brownsburg team, a senior. And Quinn, there's an answer in a 3-ball there from James Smith.
There we go.
So finally, we've broken a little bit of a scoring stalemate here as the floodgates have moderately opened. Some stingy defense there from Attucks, as holding it up top now is Tapala. Directing traffic, that's Lacey. Long pass over to Lackey.
An interesting lineup right now Coach Lynch has out there. A lot of diversity in size, but also guys who don't usually shoot a lot.
And that would have been an over and back call. Instead, it's a steal in the books and an easy lay-in for Kevin Mims.
Yeah, I see what he's trying to do, keep that ball in bounds, but when there's only three Crispus Attucks guys around to get that basketball, Obviously not ideal, but he probably didn't know because he didn't see him.
Short 5-0 run here for Attucks. And Lackey trying to turn the corner. Good defense by Isaiah Stafford. And we have a whistle, and it looks like a hand check foul on the Tigers. Take a look at this 3-ball here from the sophomore Diallo.
Yeah, he's on an island. He was just able to take his time, write a novel while he was at it, have a cup of coffee. Hits a nice 3.
Well, and you like to be able to know that you have players, because that can be kind of mentally challenging right there, knowing that you're that wide open. If anything, that creates more pressure to make those kinds of shots.
Oh yeah.
Pierce Thomas back into the ball game. He's trying to get something in the stat book here. Instead, he gets fouled on the way to the rim. We talked about this kid, Pierce Thomas, in the pregame. Committed to Butler, of course, where his fellow Brownsburg Bulldog alum, Gordon Hayward, played at Butler there in the early 20 teens, leading the Bulldogs to 2 national championship runs.
And that one heartbreaking shot.
And 2 heartbreaking outcomes.
Yep.
Nonetheless, Gordon Hayward enjoying a fabulous career in the NBA right now. He just got traded to the Charlotte Hornets from the Boston Celtics. As you see Kalen Carroll go right to the basket.
Yeah, he took that all by himself, and he's so confident going to the basket and using that Euro step to scoop right to the hoop.
Inside 30 seconds now in the first half. A low-scoring ball game by these two team standards, as back in transition, there is Jalen Carson.
Carson's good for those low buckets. He's able to back down whoever's defending him and use his size to get some space.
The Bulldogs able to hold for the last shot here as we have a whistle. And people may have had a hard time hearing the whistle there. Pierce Thomas pulls up from just inside the arc. Can't get that to fall. 5 seconds left. Attucks has a chance to steal. Carroll at the buzzer. And that does not fall in from midcourt. A low-scoring affair, but it's an Attucks 21-20 lead as we go into halftime here. Joey, definitely very uncharacteristic first half for these two teams.
Yeah, it was. They were both challenged by a couple different things. On the Crispus Attucks side, you have Brownsburg's stymieing defensive zone that they were playing. A 3-2 really traps a lot of different things. So Attucks was having trouble with that because they usually like to slash the basket. They're so great in transition, and we see that when they're able to get steals. On Brownsburg's side, Pierce Thomas not having a point in this first half really has hurt them because they run the offense through him. That's hard, but it also has given an opportunity for a lot of other guys to step up, and they've just been able to do it on putbacks. And really, like anytime they miss a shot, they always have somebody ready to go and to get it back.
However you can get it done. We'll take a break for halftime. Second half coming at you very, very soon here on IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
The Crispus Attucks Museum is a unique entity. It's first and foremost one of the only state-of-the-art museums that is attached to a public high school. It came about through a unique situation that transpired back in the 80s. In 1986, the Indianapolis Public Schools Corporation was going through a transition. And in this transition, they shut down numerous high schools. In the process, Attucks was one that was targeted. Although they did not formally shut it down completely, it was converted from a high school to a middle school.
When the alumni across the country started hearing that they were getting ready to make some changes to Crispus Attucks, they started flying in here from all over the country. That didn't change the school board's minds, but what it did was the superintendent said, well, here's what we will do. We will give you a space in Crispus Attucks to memorialize, to celebrate the traditions of the high school in this museum. It celebrates the African diaspora, because there couldn't have been an Attucks had there not been an Africa. So we teach in this museum that our history didn't start on a plantation in America. It started in ancient Africa many thousands of years ago with our ancient African ancestors. We always start our tours with the Legends mural. These were the teachers, the professors, who taught the students at Crispus Attucks. But they were not just teachers and professors at the school. They were very much associated with the community of Indianapolis. When you go around the wall, you will see the magnitude of education that went on here. You'll see the school when it first started, of sports that went on at Crispus Attucks. Marvin Johnson, one of the greatest boxers in the world. We have his belts here. He went to Crispus Attucks. So we have him proudly displayed here. I am very proud of this picture. It is the first Crispus Attucks football team. And there's my father and my uncle as part of the players on the football team. Attucks men in the military. We have General Brooks memorabilia right here. He is the one who was the mentor to General Colin Powell. Very proud of all his memorabilia being here. This is part of the Crispus Attucks community. I mean, you see Julia Carson, you see Angela Brown, a diva, an international diva. And here are some of the principals of schools that fed into Crispus Attucks. So you just see so many connections from the community that fed right into Crispus Attucks and made it what it was. These are some of the musicians. Most of them either graduated from Crispus Attucks or their lives were touched by someone from Crispus Attucks.
This is not an all-black experience. This is not an all inner city experience. This is a world experience. This is an American experience. This is part of the American saga, the American culture, the American story.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
Your way, you need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning. You can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Indiana SRN is very excited to be a part of the success of this team, and as we prepare for the next school year, we humbly ask you that you consider donating and supporting us. And every big donation, whether it's big or small, gets us one step closer to putting another kid on TV or grandma who lives out of state for viewing parties in Texas or our troops in the Middle East, all who watch our streams. To help us, simply go to our website at indianasrn.org and hit our donate button. It's just that easy. Thank you for your support. With Joey Lindstrom, I'm Kurt Darling, coming at you live from Crispus Attucks High School, where we have had an uncharacteristic low-scoring affair between these two high-powered offenses, as the number 10 Crispus Attucks Tigers are leading the number 3 Brownsburg Bulldogs in Class 4A action here. Joey, we were talking about it before the break. Just, these teams are known for their offense. They're just not having it tonight.
No, they're not. Sometimes you just can't find the bottom of the rim, and sometimes you're kind of out of sorts. I mean, we see with Pierce Thomas with 0 points in the first half. Just hasn't found his groove yet, and he keeps shooting the ball as he should. Both these squads, though, are struggling in different ways that we haven't seen them struggle before. I'd like to see how they adjust at halftime, and I think we're going to be impressed with what we see.
And you mentioned it right there, Joey, is the fact that you have goose eggs in the scoring columns of Pierce Thomas and Isaiah Stafford, the two players that you would more often than not expect to be carrying their teams here in these situations.
No, you're right. Both these guys, respectively, are the leaders of their squad, and they both apply a lot of high pressure, high intensity players. They facilitate the ball. So far, though, they just it just hasn't been their night. And but it also, albeit, it can be their second half. That's for sure.
These two teams have only met each other twice in years past. Both of them in the past 2 years, they've split the series 1 game apiece. Attucks getting the win last year, Brownsburg getting the first win back in 2018, as Attucks will be starting the second half with the basketball. And as you kind of saw about at halftime here, Attucks definitely one of those schools that is very storied in Indiana high school basketball lore. In fact, it's shut down as a high school by IPS back in 1986, but it was reopened in 2006. And then 10 years later, they have a state championship winning basketball team as Isaiah Stafford gets the scoring going in the second half for the Tigers.
There he is.
So better late than never for Stafford to get in the scorer's book, and it is now, dating back to the first half, a 7-0 run for Crispus Attucks. As the ball's tipped out of bounds, it'll stay with the Bulldogs.
This was nice. I mean, what better way to get the ball to your guy? I mean, he's got just a little bit of separation. That's all he needs. I mean, he's a foot from the three-point line. That's confidence. I love to see it, especially when you had a scoring drought in the first half.
Dump off underneath to Paula, and he gets it to go.
Nice bucket down low. Tapala, his size is really unmatched. He's got a good amount of strength for being pretty skinny.
And there's a big back-to-back three there. First time from James Smith, and Attucks is starting to make it rain from downtown.
James Smith with 9 points in the first half. The scoring leader has to continue to shoot the ball. It's not just about getting the guy who usually scores the ball. It's about getting the guy who's hot right now.
And now Pierce Thomas trying to get hot as he finally gets into the scorer's column for the first time tonight and draws the foul with it.
Looks like they're going to go take this out of bounds, actually.
So that basket will not count. So just when he gets it to go through the rim, it doesn't count as it gets tipped out of bounds. keep in mind, as we talked about before, Crispus Attucks, a team that averages 87 points a contest, and they are well off of that pace here tonight. And there is a much-needed three ball there from Tyree Lackey. So nothing but three-pointers in this third quarter outside of a Sean Tapala layup.
There it is.
And there is a big play inside there by Jalen Hooks. Keep in mind, this kid is a sophomore. And Pierce Thomas again trying to put the team on his shoulders and again cannot get it to go. And a long pass in stride to Stafford, and he lays it in. And Crispus Attucks taking some light control of this contest here early in the third quarter.
Yeah, they're doing it fast, too. They realize that speed is their friend. That's the name of the game right now for Crispus Attucks. And Brownsburg on the opposite side, which is kind of what I thought was going to happen, is just going to try to shoot the three ball. I thought that's when we were coming into this game, I thought they were just going to try to outshoot Crispus Attucks.
Put back there off of the miss from Pierce Thomas by Luke Lacey.
Luke Lacey, he's impressive, man. Undersized, but he goes up with no fear. And what a putback in midair as well. Very athletic play.
Luke Lacey averaging only 3 points a game this season, but he's shot 40% from the foul stripe. But nonetheless, very reliable player.
He's got 4 tonight.
As you take a look here at this three ball here by Smith. Just easy pickings there for the senior.
It's the first kind of set, I suppose, that Crispus Attucks has had, so we'll see how Brownsburg combats it.
Just inside the arc there is Smith again, and the rebound falls into the hands of Lackey. Double teamed is Lackey, but Pierce Thomas comes away with it. And Kalen Carroll was one of those players that was hot early, but has since gotten pretty cold as the game has gone on. Thomas into the paint. He loads up from the elbow. Finally, he gets a shot to count. And just like that, though, Brownsburg, they've clawed their way back from that deficit as Pierce Thomas going for the steal. And it's going to be out of bounds and Crispus Attucks basketball. And good sportsmanship there by Pierce Thomas, helping Isaiah Stafford, his counterpart on Attucks, to his feet.
So he makes that shot, and immediately we see him trying to make another defensive play, showing great effort. I love that because that just shows that his confidence goes as the team's success goes, because now they're starting to build a little bit. They're going back and forth, and they need him right now.
Kalen Carroll up top. Here is Luke Lacey. And there's a three ball now from Pierce Thomas, and now he's starting to heat up.
Way to get the ball to your guy. Coach Lynch, I mean, keeping on shouting is, now that you kind of have this groove offensively, it's important to get your defense going as well.
So it was a 9-2 run for Attucks out of the half, and now it is a quick 7-0 run the other way for Brownsburg. Another three loaded up again. This time it's Tyree Lackey. And he has shot nothing but three balls here tonight. He has 6 points.
Yeah, Brownsburg is great at having a guy outside the three-point line, outside the stripe, when they're in transition to get that ball out.
And there's a three ball there from Jalen Hooks of his own. He can't get that to go. Quick in transition is Carroll for Brownsburg.
Carroll's been good all night. He's so good at getting to the hoop and keeping control of his body and his head so he doesn't let anybody phase him. And now Brownsburg has had a huge run.
Timeout. Back in a minute. IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? by traveling the world, or by staying perfectly still. For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Right back to the action here on Indiana SRN. Jalen Hooks getting a basket. Actually, that looks like it was actually going to be Isaiah Stafford getting the shot there. So now he has 7 points in this third quarter alone. In fact, that's 7 points on the game. He was held scoreless in the first half, and now Attucks trying to stop the bleeding here, and so far they've been able to do that.
Stafford, another one.
And a big shot there. So Stafford really heating up now for Attucks, putting the team on his shoulders.
And that's what he needs to do, continue to make plays just like that.
And again, back in transition, and quick cleanup there by James Smith.
And luckily, he's got a great supporting cast around him, even if he does miss that shot, or he was hanging his head because he didn't have any points in the first half. When he does come out, and even if he misses a shot, his guys are always going to be there for him.
So it's a 6-0, or rather a 7-0 run out of the timeout by Attucks after a big 15-0 run by Brownsburg. So in the first half, we had an offensive stalemate. Now we have a game of runs.
I love it. This is what we thought we were going to see the entire game. It just took a little bit to get there.
Quite the tale of two halves here as the air ball falls into the hands of Pierce Thomas. He feeds it underneath to Tapaula, and he gets his pocket picked. But still, right there is Quentin Bragg to come up. Actually, that's going to be Lacey to get the offensive rebound. It's a jump ball, and the arrow favors the Bulldogs.
Good on Lacey to be tough down there. It's so hard to get a rebound, and all of a sudden you have everybody over top of you.
And just
watch this block,
just getting his finger on it there is Jalen Carson.
Between Hooks and Carson, I mean, when you have that kind of size, obviously Coach Hawkins knows how to use it. He's taught these guys how to trail their offensive players to exactly know where to track the ball. It's almost Dennis Rodman-like.
Lacey feeds it outside. That's Diallo. He has Pierce Thomas. And Thomas trying to get it back to Diallo on the no-look pass, but Diallo not exactly ready for it there. It goes out of bounds. As we approach the end of the third quarter here, about 65 seconds left to tick on the clock. And it is anybody's ball game right now, as both teams have shown a lot of poise and finesse to not let this thing get out of hand. Long three ball there from Quashawn Ware, who's into the ball game for the first time tonight, and he can't get that to go.
That was a deep three, too.
Thomas quick, hands it off now to Lacey. He has an opening inside. He has to pick up his dribble, back out to Thomas, and that's a clutch three there by Pierce Thomas off of the feed from Lacey.
Nice. It's almost like they drew it up because Lacey kind of occupied several different spaces there and made different defenders corral around him so he could dish it out to Thomas.
8 points now for Thomas in this second half. Those are all of the points that he scored on the entire game as he was held to a goose egg in the first half. Attucks holding for the last shot here. Three ball on the way. Oh, wow, what a shot there from James Smith with time expiring. There is a shot in return there from Lacey. That does not fall, and that is the end of the third quarter as we take a timeout. Fourth quarter coming up next on IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN.
Cold is just around the corner, and here at Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling,
we're ready for anything.
We care about our craft like we care about our customers.
Our technicians are fully certified
and up to speed on the latest equipment.
Available 24/7, we don't leave anybody in the cold.
That's our top priority.
We don't just work for the company.
We are the company.
So we do the best we can for every one of our customers.
Trust the name you know at Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling.
Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We take pride in your comfort. Just call Summers. Summers.
Getting set for the fourth quarter here on IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN. With Joey Lindstrom, I'm Kurt Darling at you live from Crispus Attucks High School. Class 4A action. As we take a look at the replay here, Pierce Thomas really getting it going in that third quarter.
Yeah, he's using every little bit of opportunity he has. I mean, he's able to get into spaces where he can just kind of flash in and out of a zone and what have you and get an open shot. He's done a really nice job in this third quarter. Now in this fourth quarter coming up, your teammates are going to start to rely on you more for those intense shots, those game-changing shots. You got to be able to respond.
Both of these programs showing why they're among the best in the state. In fact, between these two teams, 4 state championships between them. Crispus Attucks High School winning 4 state championships back in the 50s and, of course, back in 2017. And then you have 2008 for the Brownsburg Bulldogs, of course, on a last-second shot in the state finals over Marion by Gordon Hayward, who would go on to play at Butler. And, of course, Pierce Thomas on the Bulldogs right now, going to be playing for Butler next year. As you have Krishawn Ware hitting a big 3.
Didn't see a whole lot of Krishawn Ware, the sophomore, in that first half or the third quarter. He took one deep 3 towards the end. I like to see him make that one.
And now is really the time where you get into winning time, as said by Reggie Miller there for the Indiana Pacers. And there's a big block by Pierce Thomas as Jalen Carson was going to the basket, but a very costly turnover there as Lacey was looking for Thomas.
Nice shot by Ware here. Just open bucket. He confidently shot that with a guy on him, hand in his face. That was nice.
Both sophomores in this contest for Crispus Attucks have shown a lot of tenacity and showing what they can probably provide in the future here for this Attucks squad.
The ceremony is wiping the ball off.
As we wait for the ball here. But of course, we're looking for our 1,000th subscriber to our YouTube channel. And if you are that 1,000th subscriber, you could get a $50 gift card at Aspen Creek Grill in Fishers. Be sure to subscribe today and never miss a game. That's at Indiana SRN on our YouTube channel. So making sure we're getting things wiped down and ready to resume play here in the fourth quarter as Attucks leads by 3. Definitely a game of spurts in this second half after we had an offensive stalemate in the first half. Another long 3 from Ware. Oh, wow! That was at a 30-foot shot from Krishawn Ware, and he gets that to go. A 6-point lead and a 6-0 run for Attucks out of the half there. As Pierce Thomas trying to stop the bleeding with that shot. He can't get it to fall. A jump ball is called, and the arrow favors Attucks. No, it actually favors Brownsburg, I believe, because they would have gotten the ball at the end. And now we have a timeout called on the floor. It's a full timeout. We'll keep it here on Indiana SRN. As we've been talking about so long here is the fact that it's just been such a night and day difference between the halves here. But now Attucks starting to put Brownsburg on their heels a little bit here down the stretch.
Yeah, all of a sudden they found a shooting threat in Krishawn Moore that we didn't see at all in the first half, and he's created this little mini baby run out of for Attucks here. So Brownsburg now, how do you respond? Well, you got to keep doing what you're doing. It wasn't that you were doing anything wrong. You missed 2 shots and they capitalized. That's basketball, man. So it's a game of runs, and it always will be. So, and as we just continue on this game, oh, here we go. Now here's the 3 from Ware, all the way from Greenfield. I mean, this Ware has been he's come onto the scene in this fourth quarter, and they've needed him.
So that was about that was definitely beyond NBA range right there, as he was way behind the line getting that to fall. But he has 6 points here in this fourth quarter, and just lots of hefty scoring here on both sides of the ball, but definitely by Attucks, just showing a lot of poise, getting their offensive thing going. And Pierce Thomas has definitely struggled tonight, has 8 points, but all of those were in the third quarter. Along the baseline, Thomas, and he gets that to fall.
Nice shot. Good separation, good step back. He tried that a couple times in the first half and it did not go for him, but this time he got it to fall.
It's almost as if Attucks is recognizing that Pierce Thomas is kind of having a tough night and they're really ramping up the pressure on him.
Yeah, they finally keyed on him again, whereas they did in the first half, but they didn't really have to as much because he wasn't making his usual shots.
Hooks to the basket. He's fouled by Tapala.
I like Tapala's. He was standing his ground, making sure that Hooks didn't get an easy path to the basket. When in doubt, in that situation, you kind of have to foul because otherwise he's going to slam it home.
So that's going to be free throws here for Jalen Hooks. He is 0 for 1 tonight at the foul stripe. And he rattles home the first one. Of course, Jalen Hooks, a season-high 15 points. That was in their opening game against Purdue Poly Englewood, which was a 100-52 rout. And a good way for them to start off the season. And Hooks nails both foul shots. Kalen Carroll dumping it off to Thomas in the corner for three. And there's a big one there from Thomas. And a full timeout taken by Coach Steve Lynch of Brownsburg. It's a three-point contest now, as we'll take a timeout. Back in a minute on IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN.
Cold is just around the corner, and here at Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling,
we're ready for anything.
We care about our craft like we care about our customers.
Our technicians are fully certified
and up to speed on the latest equipment.
Available 24/7, we don't leave anybody in the cold.
That's our top priority.
We don't just work for the company,
we are the company.
So we do the best we can for every one of our customers.
Trust the name you know at Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We take pride in your comfort. Just call Summers. Summers.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Indiana SRN and get updated scores, game day schedules, and much more. That's at Indiana SRN on Twitter, at Indiana SRN. With Joey Lindstrom, I'm Kurt Darling, and it's a tight ball game here as Brownsburg got put on their heels a little bit, but nonetheless, they're not going away quietly. In fact, they're going to try and make a game of it down the stretch here with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, this has been a very, very good game. Exciting. We were looking forward to it because we knew how much offensive prowess both these teams had. It took a little while to get there, but I'm glad we got there.
Nonetheless, that slow first half is keeping them way off of their offensive averages for the night. I mean, Brownsburg's probably approaching theirs. They're averaging 58 points a game, but Crispus Attucks, I mean, they're the fifth top scoring team in the state at 87 points a game.
This will hurt the average a little bit, but
Just
ultimately, I don't think they're worried about that. I think they just want to come out with a win against a good team.
Of course, the winning average, they want to be batting 100% in games as they have done so far this season. They're 3-0 coming into this contest, and now Attucks content to play a little keep away here as they're trying to work a little four corners offense inside, and that is Jalen Carson getting it to go.
That was off the fingertips. Oh.
And
nice
there's
play.
A costly turnover by Brownsburg.
What a play by James Smith. I mean, he's been a superstar all night. He saves that ball from going out of bounds and just gets it off of Tapala's knee, I believe, or foot, to keep it going Attucks' way. That's a huge swing.
And of course, James Smith, he has 15 points tonight. And that's right at his average of 16 points a contest this season as we have a foul on Brownsburg. That's going to be on El Hadj Diallo, his first foul.
Nice tip.
And there's a big tip and a big steal there for Brownsburg as Thomas goes right to the basket and he draws a foul going inside. Looks like they're going to get Quashawn Ware for that. I know they're going to get So that's going to be Jalen Hooks with his first foul of the night. And the inbound looking for Thomas is nearly stolen. It's a jump ball on the floor, and the arrow favors Crispus Attucks. And make that 2 fouls here for Jalen Hooks. And the fouls are starting to rack up here. Late in the game, of course, we still have plenty of fouls to give here before the bonus gets into the equation. Isaiah Stafford kind of having a quiet night by his standards. He only has 10 points. That's half of what he's averaging all season so far. Inside, again, you guessed it, it's James Smith.
Banks open, Kurt.
And as we talked about earlier, Joey, the backboard's there for a reason.
That's right. So you can use it. My dad used to say, you see that big white square? You should probably use that. Oh.
As there's a foul or a whistle, and looks like it's going to be a foul coming up on Isaiah Stafford. And that's going to be his 3rd personal foul. And
definitely a guy you don't want to get in foul trouble if you're Crispus Attucks. On the flip side, I guess Brownsburg is probably okay with him committing fouls.
And we have another whistle and another foul.
Barnett.
This time it's going to be Donovan Barnett, so the fouls have all of a sudden racked up on Crispus Attucks. That's 5 team fouls here in this second half as Pierce Thomas puts up a shot. And we have a foul, an offensive foul on Brownsburg. That's going to go the other way.
And that ball left Pierce's hands. He strongly believed that it was going in, I think.
And
unfortunately rattled out.
Coach Steve Lynch of Brownsburg pleading with his team as they now have a full court offense to try and get into some stingy offense, the break into the stingy offensive rhythm of Attucks. Going inside is Smith, and he's fouled. That's going to be Luke Lacey, his 2nd. And make that in foul number 3 for Luke Lacey. And as we talked about here, the fouls are just starting to rack up. Jalen Smith looking inside, and there's a shove in the back by Talibe Diallo.
As you get into crunch time, usually pretty typical to start getting a little more physical. Refs are going to be tighter as the game gets closer. Now with Attucks on this little run.
Attucks has definitely been working the ball really, really well, as you see right there. That is Stafford. His 12th point of the night. Off faking the give and go there as we have Lacey up top. And Thomas. Top of the key, dumps it off to Carroll in the corner for 3. That's just a little strong. Going up for the contested rebound, and they're going to call a jump ball. A little chippy right there, as it's going to be favoring Brownsburg for the possession arrow.
This is where that size differential kind of comes in, because Hooks is so big and so is Carson, and so Brownsburg doesn't have anybody nearly as tall. So when you go for those, try to go through for those rebounds, you really need to box out, and Brownsburg hasn't done a good job of it in this 4th quarter.
Talibe Diallo inside. He gets the shot to go and draws the foul.
Good drive. Diallo, being the slasher that he is, he knows he just needs to put in his body in the right position to go make that play, and he does.
So he has an and 1 opportunity here. And that's the 6th team foul on Attucks this half. And Talibe Diallo converts the old-fashioned 3-point play, and Brownsburg will take any point that they can get right now, as the clock is definitely working against them here as they go back into the full court press. Right to the basket goes Barnett, and he's fouled from behind. You can give that foul to El Hadj Diallo, his 3rd, excuse me. So Donovan Barnett back at the foul stripe again. Last time he was at the foul stripe was back in the first quarter. He went 0 for 2 that trip. And he again is scoreless from the free throw line. Barnett averaging 12 points a contest, a season high, 17 points against Purdue Poly. And as we talked about earlier, he's the only four-year player on this varsity squad for Attucks. And again, he cannot get the foul stripe to work for him.
Got away maybe with a double dribble there, but athletic play to keep that ball up. Oh.
Out of bounds, the call is for Brownsburg. As Brownsburg will take it out there from just in front of their bench. That's Luke Lacey to take it out. Carroll finds Thomas, a long three ball, a huge shot there from Pierce Thomas.
That was huge. Give it to your guy and cash it home.
That's definitely something you're really liking to see there if you're head coach Laval Jordan of Butler, where he's going to be playing next year.
And any Butler fans or maybe alums they might call your high school games.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he just needs a little bit of space. That time he gets a lot. Man, that was a pretty shot. I'm glad he's gotten going. I mean, I said it was super cliche in the beginning of the game, but I said shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot. Ever since he started making his first couple shots, he didn't stop, and he maybe has missed one or two since.
That's 17 fouls now on Brownsburg, so that puts Attucks in the 1-and-1 bonus, and that's actually 4 fouls now on El Hadj Diallo, and 2 missed free throws again, as Attucks is leaving some points on the board at the foul stripe. And out of bounds, it's going to stay with the Bulldogs. And and sometimes that's one of those things where basketball games are won or lost at. It's at the foul stripe.
Yeah, every point matters, especially when both two really good teams are going at it.
A big steal in transition, and that will make up for it right there. Jalen Carson gets the shot to fall.
Nice job and strength going up to the basket for Jalen Carson there.
And a timeout on the floor, as it is a 5-point ball game here for Attucks. And so did you miss the game everyone was talking about? Well, subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss a game again with pregame notifications. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game. So timeout on the court here for Crispus Attucks, so that gives them 2 timeouts remaining in this contest. Each team has 2 fouls, 7 fouls for Brownsburg, 6 fouls for Attucks, and so either way, both teams will be in the bonus on the next foul, regardless of who commits it. So now it's sort of a game of chess at this point when you get down to it's inside 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, it is, and you need to be able to feel out what your opponent's trying to do. Crispus Attucks kind of teased it a few minutes ago when they were just kind of tossing the ball cross court, back over cross court, volleyball to volleyball line. They'll probably continue to try to do that because Brownsburg has played in the zone all game. I don't expect them to switch it up all of a sudden.
And so now Attucks going to be playing some full court press here, and they actually foul in transition. And that's going to be Donovan Barnett picking up his 3rd.
Yeah, Attucks is great. Attucks is great at the full court pressure. I mean, they've had high pressure all year so far, and they play so hard and they hustle and they feed off each other's energy, especially late in games.
This puts Pierce Thomas at the foul stripe now. It's going to be a 1-and-1 opportunity here, and nearly a lane violation.
Good rebound
by James Smith, but an offensive rebound by Lacey. And Thomas now can try again. That's a 3 on the way. That's off the mark. Rebound again by Brownsburg. 3 offensive rebounds and some second chance points. Thomas tries again. Another offensive rebound. And what do we have here? That is going to be Talibe Diallo getting fouled, and that is going to be 4 on Isaiah Stafford. And foul number 8 on Attucks. And Talibe Diallo, definitely one of the guys you don't want to send to the foul stripe here if you're Attucks. He shot 83% from the free throw line last season. And he shows why right there as he gets it to go home. So Brownsburg staying within arm's length, but they have to start trying to figure out something on defense to force some turnovers and generate that into offense.
The best way to do that, it sounds silly and simple, but just keep pressure on them. And when you're in the zone, when you're in a zone, it's hard to do that typically. But I mean, I feel like they just need to, and look now, they're doing a full court kind of pressure, little trap game here, see how it works out.
Playing some really spread out defense here are the Bulldogs.
Now playing man-to-man too.
Stafford tries to shake off Lacey, playing some stingy defense. Stafford still dribbling the ball, finally picks up his dribble, only for a moment, and he gets it back. Stafford inside to Carson, off the give and go inside to Smith off the backdoor cut.
What a beautiful play design. I don't think anybody saw Smith at all, including Lacey, who was defending it.
Some nifty basketball played there by Attucks as Thomas looks underneath. Wide open is Diallo, and he gets it to fall. A timeout on the floor. It's a 30-second timeout called by Brownsburg, and they now have one timeout remaining in the ballgame.
Okay, so you have Attucks kind of right where you want them. You want them to be able to make a mistake, just a simple mispass or just a missed shot. Just get your rebound because you have plenty of time to go down and get a shot.
As we take a look inside here, let's take a look at this replay again. Just a well-executed play.
Yeah, he leaves Diallo kind of in the dust. I said Lacey before, but Diallo, I really had no idea where Smith was. He just couldn't catch up to him by the time he was flashing through the lane.
So out of the timeout now. Brownsburg really in a bind here. They've got to try and get something. They need a stop right here on defense. And they've been playing this full court pressure. Of course, there's some good, but there's also some bad with this because they get past you. There's nobody back deep.
Yeah, 4 guys up before midcourt. There you go.
And now a timeout called by Crispus Attucks. And we'll keep it right here, of course. Get a free estimate, professional and affordable movers for local or long distance. Our movers and service experts are making moving easier. For 14 years of experience, family-owned and operated, fast and professional. Call College Hunks and Movers today at 317-516-0569. That's 317-516-0569. With Joey Lindstrom, I'm Kurt Darling. We're inside a minute here, and it's been just a grinder of a basketball game here at Attucks.
Yeah, it has. It started out a little bit slow, but as the second half started, immediately it got going. Everybody was shooting. Everybody was dropping buckets. It was great. And now we've had a great second half and a great game to both.
Stafford off the inbound. Underneath, one-on-one with Lacey. Inside there is Carson. He can't get it to go. Big rebound by Pierce Thomas. He goes virtually uncontested, gets the shot to fall, and has the opportunity to get the tying free throw.
I don't know why he rushed the shot, but it worked for him. Certainly, he actually switched hands as he went up, and that ball just swirled right in there. That was great. Wow, what a play.
Maybe it's better to have the game tied up as soon as you can rather than waiting.
I suppose so.
Either way, he gets the clutch free throw to fall. We have a tie ball game now. 58 all inside of a minute to play.
Needed that one, Kurt Darling. This is good basketball right now.
Two-three zone here from Brownsburg. As a light four corners type offense here from Crispus Attucks, and Attucks is going to hold for the last shot, it seems. So either Attucks wins at this point or we go to overtime.
try to look to get. And here's the timeout. I imagine this next inbound play is going to go to either Smith, who's had the hot hand, all night, or to Stafford, who's had the hot hand in this second half. I mean, both these guys have contributed significantly to this game. I wonder who they'll choose, and I imagine they're going to have to get them off just a pick and roll, what have you, give and go, maybe scenario, maybe backdoor outlet to a three or something. I'm not sure what Coach Hawkins has to pick, but I got to imagine it's one of those two guys.
This is the closest game that either of these teams have played so far this season. Brownsburg has either won or lost by maybe about a margin of maybe 10 to 12 points or so. Crispus Attucks, their closest game was actually the previous one against Warren Central. That was a 66 to 58 win at a neutral site. So this is their closest home game so far that they've had against Brownsburg. And of course, the leading scorer tonight, Pierce Thomas, been doing a heck of a job getting back in the scorers column after being held to zilch in the first half. But then big nights tonight for James Smith and Isaiah Stafford of Crispus Attucks, as you might expect.
I'm James Smith for 21 on the night, and Stafford in this second half coming out with 11.
So 9.2 seconds remaining in this ball game here, at least in regulation. And Attucks has to try and get something going here. Inside goes Smith, fires the shot, and a costly foul by Brownsburg as you put James Smith at the line. He is 2 for 2 at the line tonight.
This is the first time that Attucks has had a set play where all they do is just try to slash to the basket. And he whistled through there to try to go gain a foul. That was an amazing play.
Big free throw made there by Smith. Huge free throw for Smith. In a big game like this, you want to give the ball to a guy that you can rely on, and you've been able to rely on him all night. And in the beginning of this season, he's been a true testament of what this team is. Just absolute aggressive but controlled effort. Now, Brownsburg has a timeout left. You probably expect them to take it here, and that's exactly what they're going to do as Smith makes that second free throw. So that is now Brownsburg's final timeout of the night. It is a 60-second timeout, and so now you have 4 seconds to work with. That's obviously enough time to at least get the ball inbounds and try to at least maybe get something up for a prayer.
Yeah, and you got to obviously, I think we know who they're going to try to go to. Coach Lynch is going to try to get the ball to Pierce Thomas. He's finally got the hot hand that we thought he was going to have throughout the game. Kind of struggled in the first half, but he's done really, really well in the second half. And with that clutch bucket and one to tie it up, I can't imagine he's going to go with anybody else and try to get him in the open space.
So out of the timeout now, you have 60 to 58. The possession arrow favors Attucks. And both teams are in the bonus, whether it be 1-1 or the double bonus. So Attucks going to back off here. It seems they're not going to be playing any, or now they're going to be coming up here to play kind of a three-quarter court defense. So they're going to have Diallo inbound the ball. And here we go for all the marbles here. Here's Thomas. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, heaves it from long court. That's going to be well short, and that is the ball game. So Crispus Attucks squeaks out a grinding win over the third-ranked team in Class 4A. The Crispus Attucks get the upset tonight over the Brownsburg Bulldogs.
Yeah, the Tigers came out firing right away. They like to play this aggressive type of basketball because they know that's what they're best at. They know how to slash to the basket, get across the lane, get in, and they struggle in the beginning because of that stout zone defense from Brownsburg. What a finish, though. I mean, James Smith, what's not to say about him? He's a gamer. This kid is excellent at slashing to the basket and making sure that he gets his points. 23 to his credit tonight. What a game.
And, of course, 19 points for Pierce Thomas on the other side. And even then, just talking about it, you really miss him having not scored in the first half.
Yeah, he's such a contributor to this team's success. And when he's cold, it doesn't help really at all, obviously, but his teammates were able to help him and elevate him so that they also encouraged him to keep taking shots, Pierce. Keep just chucking the ball up, and eventually the shots will fall. Finally did fall in the second half, and he made a late run with that and one to tie up the game. Crispus Attucks with some clutch free throws. And it was, just what a game. It was crazy.
Absolutely. Final score once again, 60-58. And with that, Joey Lindstrom, once again, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
You too, Kurt. This was awesome. And we'll get to see probably one of the plays of the game out of that third quarter.
Krishawn Ware with this insane three-pointer.
Krishawn Ware, that was excellent. So, lots of plays that we could highlight, but that one definitely sticks out because it was a huge momentum swing.
He finishes with 6 points tonight, as there's been many other plays that were made throughout the night, of course, and definitely some good ones here tonight as we had another good game here. And, of course, Crispus Attucks now, next on their schedule, they're going to be going on the road as they face Cardinal Ritter. That's going to be at December 11th, 7:30 p.m. tip-off, as that's the plan anyway. Of course, you can catch a whole bunch of other games here on Indiana SRN that very same night. You can catch North Vermilion at Traders Point at 7:30. Guerin Catholic is on the road at Franklin Central. You can also catch a Heritage Christian doubleheader that night, girls and boys basketball, as they're both going to be playing Bishop Chatard. 6 p.m. is when that action gets going with the girls basketball game. The boys to immediately follow after that. You also have a girls and boys doubleheader for Arsenal Tech, as they are both facing Anderson. The action starts at 6 o'clock there for that action on December 11th. You also have a couple games coming up on Saturday, as Greenwood Christian is going to be playing host to Covenant Christian in girls basketball action. Myself and Steve McClure are on the call for that game, as well as Heritage Christian and Fort Wayne Southside. Covenant Christian boys basketball going to be facing Brebeuf on Saturday as well. You can catch all that right here on Indiana SRN and at indianasrn.org. Joey Lindstrom, once again, pleasure, my friend. Good working with you tonight.
Yes, sir, Kurt. You as well. This was a blast. Can't wait to do it again.
For all of us here at Indiana SRN, you've been watching IPSathletics.tv, powered by Indiana SRN. For Jerry Collins, our on-site engineer, Joey Lindstrom, I'm Kurt Darling, saying so long till next time.